So today we'll be talking about a famous place in Savannah, Georgia, known as the Bonaventure Cemetery, because for this month, February, on my calendar, it focuses on just that by showing an angel statue that you can find within the cemetery. So let's do this. A lot of people in the area love how the cemetery looks. With all the trees around, a lot of people like taking walks through it during the day, you know, like it isn't a cemetery or anything. And there was also something that kind of started at Bonaventure, which I don't know if this is the very first cemetery that has done this, but there was a case of someone, and now mind you, this is like the 1800s. There was someone who fell into a coma. They presumed he was dead, or was it a she? Someone was in a coma, presumed that they were dead, had a funeral, buried them, they woke up. Now, how they found out someone was alive there, I can only guess that someone heard something, probably thought it was nothing, and then later told someone, and they ended up investigating it. And from what I have read, is they have unearthed the body. They found scratches from the inside of the coffins, which is how they figured out their mistake, which is why they started putting bells there. Yeah, and this is so bad. They would take a bell, they would have it on this little hook on some of them, but at Bonaventure, they generally look like this. And so at the other end of it, they would tie it to the finger of whoever was buried there. So if they move their finger and it rings, and that means they need to be saved. So if you watch movies like The Nun, they actually use this in a scene, and this is kind of where it stems from. Creepy, I know, but that's also kind of where the phrase saved by the bell came from, because they were saved, you know, by the bell. Remember that show?
It's alright, cause I'm saved by the bell.
Yeah, that title kind of changed for me too. Once I found this out, I'm like, oh, that's morbid, but also kind of cool. And there's a famous statue at Bonaventure that became really famous. And if you've watched or read the book with the same title, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, it is about this cemetery. And on the cover, they have used an actual statue that is in there. Now, after this came out, after the book was released and the movie came out, which I've actually seen the cover of the movie and I think it changed. I think they actually took the statue out. I want to say at one point it was that cover too. I could be wrong. But I know it's definitely the cover of the book. They used this statue called the Bird Girl, that's how it was known, and it became so popular. A lot of people wanted to go to the cemetery just to take a picture with the statue. And mind you, this was actually on someone's grave. And so the family was getting upset that they were disturbing their family member's gravesite. I mean, I would be too. So they took the statue out, and now you can find it at the Telfair Museum. I believe that's how you say it. And so people can go there and take pictures of it without disturbing anyone's gravesite. It's kind of sad that the family members felt that they had to have it removed, but at the same time, I'm glad they did because it gives them peace of mind. It gives whoever is there peace of mind that they don't have the whole world around there just to take pictures with the statue. And then there's Gracie Watson. So there's a story behind this statue that was built for Gracie Watson. So she was about 6 years old when she passed, and she was known by the area. She was known because her parents owned a hotel in the area, and she was always there inviting guests, saying hi to them, dancing, singing, just trying to entertain them. Everyone knew her. And when she was about 6, she got pneumonia and she passed away from it. Her dad had this statue built of her based on a picture. And the story behind her is if you leave toys at her grave, which a lot of people did, if you visit her, the statue cries. And I think it could be because of the background. Her parents couldn't stand seeing the area where Gracie always was, and they ended up moving away, leaving Gracie alone in Savannah. And because she was so loved in the area, people keep coming back and visiting her. So she isn't really alone, but at the same time, I think she wants her parents. People have heard around her statue, people have heard children playing, laughing. I believe it's her. And because the statue is so haunted, they actually built a gate around it so you can't get too close to her anymore. But people still leave things at the gate like they did at her grave itself. Even though there are some sad stories about the people buried here, like Gracie Watson, there's also something that I really, really love. So there was a musician who I believe mostly wrote lyrics for songs that's also buried there. I kind of really love that he's there because it kind of creates, in my way, in my way of thinking, it's almost like it gives the cemetery a theme. Okay, that sounds kind of weird, but maybe you'll understand when I tell you who. So Johnny Mercer is buried at the Bonaventure. And you may not know the name just by the name, but he wrote a really popular song where if you love anything horror, you know the song. See what I mean? It's just so fitting that he's there. I don't know why. Maybe it's my creepy little morbid thought of loving that the guy who wrote that song, Jeepers Creepers, is also buried there. And they have a bench for him, which I really like. So this bench is next to his grave, and this is his gravestone. I can't even tell you where his grave is because I've never been there personally. I don't know, I just love it. I love that he's in a place like Bonaventure. That just makes me happy. I don't know why, but it just does. So that is what I learned about this cemetery. Well, I dove into some research from it. I'm kind of glad I did because if I'm ever in Georgia, I kind of want to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.